Hello everyone, welcome back to Newcastle Fans TV. Something a bit different for you today. On Saturday you may have seen that myself and my son were in Newcastle United's sensory room, which provided a wonderful response and a lot of questions directed to me about what Newcastle United sensory room is all about, helping neurodivergent people on a match day. So here's the video that explains it all. Hello everyone and welcome back. Thank you very much for watching. Now, the sensory room at Newcastle United isn't actually a new initiative. It's not something that was done post-takeover. It's actually been there for a while and is arguably Newcastle's best kept secret inside St James's Park. It's something that I'd heard of a few years ago, and my understanding was there was a bit of a waiting list because capacity in there is so small. Obviously, it's around about it holds around 10 to 14 people per match day. The sensory room itself is actually made up of two rooms, and it's on the Lees' west corner on level 6 inside St James's Park. Now, there is the viewing room, which is kind of the main room. Basically 2 rows of seats indoors in like a kind of a box thing. Actually looks like, well, I say it looks like, it probably is, or was, the TV studio. It's got that same kind of iconic view, remember back in the day, before it was all kind of pitch side and green screen and all that, when, you know, TV coverage was in the stadium. They would have a box kind of there and you'd see that iconic view of the East Stand and the Newcastle United lettering. I believe the old studio is actually next door to the sensory room from what I saw, I think. So that's kind of the viewing room. There's 2 rows of kind of kitchen chairs, if you like. And, you know, there's enough room for 5 or 6 families. You get to watch the game inside that box. Obviously, the kind of being indoors, being in an indoor setting, it takes away the sharpness of the kind of noise and the atmosphere. You still obviously get a flavour of that as it comes through. But it just helps kind of, if, you know, neurodivergents are particularly sensitive to noise and whatnot. Obviously it was our kind of first experience in there, and that was due to my son Charlie, who you would have seen on the channel before, and you know, we've been to games before. Charlie is autistic, and it's there to kind of provide a safe space. In the games we've gone to previously, on the main, he has coped okay. He has the use of his ear defenders, which, you know, is becoming more and more common, and it's great to see around stadiums. There's no real stigma around that anymore. So we always take them with us. He has a sensory snack as well, and it's there to kind of help and get him through. Normally, as you would see in previous times that we've been, that we're actually on the front row of the Gallagher, which is where Carl from the channel and his brother Chris have their season tickets, and if they can't go to a game, me and Charlie will have their tickets transferred to us. It's all above board, and that's how we will go to a game, like we did for Tottenham earlier on this season. There have been occasions in the past where we have had to leave early. One game Charlie couldn't cope, and we essentially had to leave just after half time. From a selfish point of view, that's only happened once, and it was during the pre-season friendly, so I haven't really missed anything, but the outcome would have been the same had it been, you know, a Premier League match, a Champions League match, whatever. We would have still had to have left then and there if he was struggling that much. The sensory room, as I say, is on the 6th floor. You get the lift to that. You get guided by one of the stewards in suits to the viewing room ultimately, which is where 2 staff members and I hate myself because I've forgotten their names, and they were fantastic on Saturday with all the kids and the families inside the sensory room. They get welcomed in there. There's squash for juice and stuff for the kids, and tea and coffee for the adults. Bosh, all free and whatnot. And Charlie likes to get into the stadium early. Obviously, it's not the same for everyone. There was other families that came really right up until kickoff. Obviously, it depends what happens to work, whatever works for you or your little one. It's not just for kids. There are plenty of adults out there I know, who are neurodivergent, who are autistic or whatever. If they feel the need, or if they're maybe intimidated or slightly nervous or scared about going to a game, they can get into the sensory room as well. Applying for tickets is exactly the same as you would apply for anywhere else in the stadium. Through the ballot, there is now a section on there on the ballot saying sensory room, so you can put your application in as you would for anywhere else in the stadium. It is as simple as that. It's not, that has changed significantly as I was talking to the two women working inside the room. Previously there was a waiting list, quite an extensive one as well, but it's through the ballot, which is how we got our tickets for the Manchester City game. Now, the second room, which is obviously the main sensory room, is a room. It has no viewing space for the match. You're completely sealed off. It's a complete calming space. It's right next door to the viewing room. And as you can see here, I should just say I wasn't expecting the response I got on social media and the interest it caused, which is obviously great. But I didn't think of recording anything of it, because that's just wasn't at the forefront of my mind. I'm there with my son to have a great day and look after him, and this, that and the other. If I'd have known it would have caused so much interest, then I would have maybe asked the club for permission to just film a little bit inside there. But you'll have to make do with my photos that I sent to my wife on the day as well. But it helps. It kind of gives you a flavour and an idea of what to expect. So there's lots of sensory lights and objects, and it's essentially a calm space where you can just go there, regulate, get away. It's perfectly quiet, and there's things in there to help people regulate. For those who are neurotypical, who don't have autism or anything like that, a quick and easy guide, not a guide, but to put it in sort of layman's terms really, and this was really helpful to me when it was explained to me, was imagine you wake up in the morning and you got an imaginary stress bucket. You wake up in the morning and it's empty, and then through the day stress levels can increase with whether you've had a bad day at work or this, that and the other, and water fills the bucket as stress levels rise. Neurotypical people have the kind of blessing of that being empty when you wake up in the morning. But if you imagine for autistic people, neurodiverse people, you wake up in the morning, that bucket is 2/3 full already. So that's why they have the need to need a space to regulate, to maybe lock away from loud spaces. Obviously, look, Charlie loves Newcastle United, and he loves that. He loves singing the songs. Sometimes it does just get a bit too much, but nonetheless, it's a really useful space. As I say, you can go and apply wherever, whenever. It's not a new thing, so it's credit really to the people who worked there for so long, and the Newcastle United Foundation and loads of other great people working in the club. It is limited, I believe. You can only go in there 3 times per season, although I have been told by the people that work there, because there may be occasions where it's not full, or because maybe someone's not turned up because they've had a bad morning and they can't feel like they're ready, they're not in the right headspace to go to the game. So there might be some space in there. You can ask a steward and they can radio through to see if there is space for you to go there on that day. So that's a really useful tip if you've maybe wanted to go to a game, you're at a game, you're feeling a bit, and that option is there. It might not, it might be full, it might not. So it's just a little kind of backup option that could be of use for some people. But yeah, it's a fantastic initiative. It really is. Look, we had a great day in there. Charlie, I was quite surprised actually, because in previous outings to St James's where he's had a great day, and we've come out and he's felt good and it's not too much for him. I asked him, do you prefer sitting at the front of the Gallagher, joining in, singing all the songs, or did you prefer being in the sensory room? And he said the sensory room, which kind of surprised me a little bit, but it shouldn't. It obviously makes total sense. Look, from a selfish point of view, again, it's a different experience for a neurotypical to go along with your child or partner or whoever you may go with. You'll know from the past and previous match day vlogs or whatever that Lee has papped me on that I like to get involved and sing some songs and sometimes get a bit carried away. Obviously that you can't do that in the sensory room, but you do what you got to do for your kids, don't you? Every parent watching this will know. And it was still a very much an enjoyable day. It was still we still had a great day, and a deserved point as well versus Manchester City. So look, yeah. Any further questions? Email the channel, info@newcastlefanstv.com, or even email the club because they'll know better than me. Thank you very much for all the nice messages I received Saturday night regarding Charlie and his big day out. And yeah, it's something we'll hopefully do again. We're still going to go to games that won't be us being in the sensory room or whatever. But again, you always run that risk of if he needs to go, we go. So it is what it is. And that's the same. Obviously, you've seen him in a couple of post-match videos previously, and that's all very much down to him. I don't force him to do that. The reason we left early from the last word, if you noticed on Saturday, was because he wasn't feeling it and he wanted to go. That's fine. I'm not going to stand around and make him wait for half an hour while me, Lee and Johnny waffle about the game. It's who cares? It's more important. So we left before completing the matchday videos on Saturday. It's all you follow what he feels comfortable doing and how he's feeling emotionally. So yeah, it's a fantastic route, and if you're there early enough, there's little sensory activities to do there for the kids. And they got Charlie putting up they have player cards which are velcroed up to a space on the wall, so they got Charlie to put the line up on the wall as well. And because some people like to get there really early, like Charlie does. He wants to get in the stadium and be aware of his surroundings, and that's what makes him calm. Other people, there was families in there that arrived right up until the coin toss and whatever. So yeah, it's entirely malleable to the individual's needs. We went in the sensory room at half time because that gave Charlie a chance to kind of regulate a bit. He had a wobbly tooth, so he was fretting with that, and so going in there and just having that calm time for 10-15 minutes. Obviously he doesn't want to miss the game because he's still Newcastle United mad at the end of the day. So we did utilise, not everyone does utilise that, the sensory room itself. They just stay in the viewing room, and having that kind of quieter space in the stadium is enough. But yeah, we utilised it at half time, as I say, and that worked wonders and set us up nicely for the second half, where obviously Gordon equalised for us. So yeah, that's kind of my experience. I mean, look, get in the comments if you feel like I've missed anything or wanted to ask a question. I will endeavour to look. I'm not one for looking at YouTube comments a lot, but I will endeavour to have a look on here and answer any questions that come on. And as I say, info@Newcastle Fans TV if you do want to ask a question, or again, email the club. You know, they're very personable these days, and there is some fantastic people working there. Everyone in and around that sensory room, from the moment we got to the stadium, from the moment we left the stadium, you can stay in that room for as long as you want after full time as well, until you know the individual is ready and calm and regulated or whatever to leave. Avoid the busyness of you know the footfall traffic leaving the stadium. They can stay in there until it all dies down, and it's not a moment's bother for anyone who works there. The staff who work in and around that stadium are amazing. I cannot stress that enough. Absolutely fantastic. Looked after Charlie and myself so well, and everyone else that was in the room so well. And it was an absolute joy to be there, and I hope we'll be in there again. I really do. I know my luck with ballots isn't the best, but we keep on trying, don't we? So yeah, I implore you, if you are neurodiverse and you desperately still want to be a part of that, just apply. You've got nothing to lose. You don't need to feel scared or nervous. That it is absolutely fine for everyone and really accepting. There's no stigmatism around any form of neurodivergence or anything along those lines at all. Everyone there is so welcoming, so calm, patient, whatever. Absolutely perfect, flawless experience. It really was. So yeah, I hope this video has kind of helped. But yeah, as I say, info@Newcastle Fans TV, or leave a comment if you have any further questions. But thank you very much for watching, everyone, and I hope this video has helped somewhat. Normal services resumed towards the end of the week with Everton away. So it's a big busy week here on NFTV. Stay tuned.